Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside In Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Hello, my wonderful audience. Thank you for coming on to today's very important episode. This is the Dance to Heal podcast because life is a dance, and I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. It is so exciting to have Sherinata here today from Karelia Creations. I met her, this amazing person, at Podfest of January 2025. And as a result of it, I left her with a box of goodies. But before we get to those, we're going to ask Sherinata, just explain to us, why are you working with this thing called Shungite? It sounds weird. And what is it? It's Shungite. It's a really cool black thing, black substance, okay? Just so you know, for my audio listeners, come to the YouTube channel so you can see what we're talking about, because we'll start holding up the things we're talking about so you can get a visual. Welcome, Sherinata.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Yes, you and I hit it off from the from the moment we saw each other. We were like, oh, we can have to continue this conversation because of our own experiences. And I think that stories definitely, it's not like stories sell, but stories are relatable. People understand and it's real because it's not fake news, it's the real deal. And it comes from the heart. And that's how I built this business, from the heart, and through my own experiences. So I guess the question is, what is it? I'd rather start with like what's going on here, and like how, like, because we need it, but why do we need it? So it's the why. I would say that back in 1999, I lost my first husband to brain cancer, and it was a very aggressive tumor, the most aggressive one you can get. And I had my 1-year-old son at the time, and it was pretty much a shock. We're like, what in the world? Because he was healthy, he was happy, he was only 32 to 33 years old at the time. And like, how did this all happen? Within just a few months, he was gone. And he was an electrician, and he was surrounded by electricity. And, at the time, I didn't understand any of this. It made no sense. But if we fast forward, it was a traumatic event for me in my life. My son was, he's 20, what is he, 28 now? And it's like, so time does fly. But in the meantime, we fast forward to 2020, I'm sorry, 2012, 2013, 14. In 2012, I got remarried, but, fast forward. And by 2013, 2012, I built a new home office. And in that home office, which is not the one I'm in now, it's in this house. And I had a smaller room. I was doing all my Facebook Lives back then, and I was doing this energy healing and working with energy all the time, and very intuitive. And I had a Wi-Fi router in there. I had all my electronics, the two monitors. We know how it is. We all have home offices. We want the best of everything. So we have the best, reception that we can have. And wow, 1 year after I built that home office, 1.5 years later, I started getting my own headaches. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't understand what was going on. And somebody said to me, they're like, Sharonata, you are surrounded by all this energy in this office, which, by the way, very important to know, was right off of my bedroom. And many of us have computers in our bedrooms, and all of the electronics in our bedrooms. And so my body would never have a chance to heal itself at night, which is why I was getting lethargic and I was getting headaches and not feeling well, because I would, be working in my office for 7 or 8 hours, and then I'd go, you leave for a few minutes and then you go to sleep, and then I'm still in the room. So somebody introduced me to this rock called shungite, and she goes, this neutralizes all the radiation. And it will detox you from the radiations going on in your body and help to heal you and harmonize you back to, your normal health. So it's like, what? This is crazy. Well, literally, no joke. Within a couple days, I had no more headaches, no more lethargy. I was like rocking it with my rock, right? Just rocking it. And so fast forward, little did I know, yes, my headaches were gone, but I did not know that as I fast forward to 2021, I found out that did have a brain tumor. And that brain tumor, I had emergency brain tumor surgery. It was not cancerous, thank goodness. It was benign. It was a meningioma type 2.
Mhm.
This type 2 brain tumor is normally found in men, Black men over 60. I'm none of those. And or people who are surrounded by a lot of radiation. Now, it's very common for women to get a type 1 meningioma, very common for women to have that. But type 2 is a very aggressive, fast growing one. It literally grew in 10 years. So, 1 year after I built that home office, when we rolled back the clock from that biopsy, it literally started growing in 2013. And that's when I wasn't feeling well. So I want to say so, and going back to my first husband, who was an electrician, who was surrounded by all this energy, I had found out when I started delving into all this information, Jenny, this is the most important thing. It's like, back then in 99, we weren't surrounded by a lot of this stuff at all, right? I found out that electricians have the highest rate of brain tumors per occupation, aggressive ones as the glio, than any other occupation. Let me tell you something now. It's one of the number one killers for children between 0 to 18 years old. This was unheard of. And, we have children, we have adults who are being inundated with cancers. And yes, okay, we might have a polluted environment, we might have polluted food, we might have all this other stuff going on. But this is something right now with all of the satellites, all the 5G towers, all the 3G, 4G, up to 5G, which comes in a whole different way, and surrounding us in our homes. And this is something that babies are getting from in vitro to as they're growing up. And we're knowing it's causing addictions, we're knowing it's causing hormone issues, we're knowing it's causing all these things, but yet what are we doing about it? We're still putting it on all of our body parts and we're giving it to our children. And I have goosebumps because I really want you to share your story. And I'm just like feeling very overwhelmed at this moment because I know that this is so important for people to feel, hear, and know about because we don't want what happened to us to happen to the listeners and to happen to humanity because it's really important. And it's not about fear, right? It's
Mm-mm.
not about fear. No, about being scared of our technology, but it's about being smarter than our technology. It's about, learning how to use it, just like we put on a seatbelt before we go into a car, and learning how to work with our vibration and learning how to work with ourselves and to become intuitive and saying, wow, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe this is a chaotic field that's causing toxins in my body and free radicals, which is proven, by the way. And yet, you just have to go to the right resources for the testing to find it. So, which I have all that information if ever anybody ever wants to know. In fact, I will give you another link to put on the line to go to environmental trust, uh, environmentaltrust.org, because Dr. Deborah Davis is making massive, massive changes and letting in so much awareness. And there's scientists and doctors around the world, and professors around the world that completely understand what's going on. But this is a $1 trillion business and it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
I love this story. Thank you for talking from the personal and then relating it back to every individual that's listening to this podcast or even watching it, right? Either on your phone or your computer. The very device that you're tuning in on is giving off EMFs, which are electromagnetic transmissions. That we cannot dispute, folks. It's like listening to a radio and the radio waves coming to hit your ear. Otherwise, you would hear nothing, right? Every single electronic device in your home gives off EMTs. That's just the part of the 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 science that is irrefutable. It really is just like my phone gives off those those
It's EMF for
sorry,
EMF frequencies or fields. So just to
EMFs.
correct it, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
not
you.
EMT.
Yeah.
EMT is the people that are going to come and get you if you're not
Well, there are
feeling well,
also
the EMTs.
electromagnetic transmissions, right?
There are, but in this field, it's really referred to EMF.
Perfect.
So,
So let's
hmm
just be clear. So your
hmm
electromagnetic field manipulations, which are basically the effect from anything electronic. Like I have an Apple Watch, I have an Apple phone, I have a Mac in front of me, I have an Apollo thing that helps me with my anxiety. Right? If you're sitting in front of a TV, that's giving off those EFMs to you. Your computer, even if it's not on and it's closed, gives off EFMs, right?
EMF,
E,
EMF.
EMFs. Why am I
Mm, It's okay.
EMFs? That's okay. I'm reading off something else. I'm confusing myself. Either way, my point is, folks, just because we can't see it does not mean that it's not having an effect on your body. I was telling Sherinata before we actually started the recording on a separate phone call that I have no history of breast cancer. And I remember distinctly as a young mom running around doing sports for my children, always taking my cell phone and tucking it in my bra on my right side. And that's where I ended up having all the tumors that they found. And I have no history of breast cancer. Nothing. I was at my healthiest weight. I had been vegan for 8 months before, and that's where they found and had to take out the lymph nodes on that side. That was the side I carried my phone, different types of phones too, because I didn't really go to the Apple phone for a while. I had the flip phone that I would put in my butt cheek. Never got butt cheek cancer yet, because I would always lose my phone in my butt pocket. It would always fall out. The one place that it never fell out was inside my bra on the right side. Needless to say, I don't do that anymore. I remember shortly after I was in treatment, they were talking, and actually the numbers are still going up, everyone. Breast cancer is supposed to be an older woman disease. And now the age of occurring breast cancer is starting to drop. So younger and younger women are getting breast cancer.
And this is Breast Cancer Month, so it's a perfect time to be talking about it.
Yes, well, this episode will come out,
Oh, that's
closer to
right.
the end of the
After.
year. It doesn't
That's
matter
true.
for us. Breast cancer
Mm-mm.
awareness is year round. Men can get
It
it
is.
too. Men, you can get it because sometimes you have pockets on your chest of your jacket that you slide your phones in because it's convenient versus in your pocket that will fall out, right? So just be aware there are things out there. Now, I love that on Sherinata's website, which is at, I'm going to spell it out for y'all to make sure that those of you who are listening, you can always come back to the links in the descriptions of this episode, okay? But her website, which is KareliaCreations.com, KARELALIA Creations, CREATIONS.com. The actual one of the first things that it talks about is that EMF protection is your sunscreen for the digital world. We live in a digital world, folks. We can't get away from it unless you go out into nature. But then we still need something digital to keep us safe so we can find where we are, right? And very few of us are programmed to be able to read the skies and figure out which direction. We still count on our phones to know which one's south, east, and west. I come from the country. I don't want to go back to the country unless I have my phone, so I know which way to go home, right? So the reality of it is that you're still gonna need protection. What?
Yeah, a
How
paper
is?
map. Who's going to
Yeah,
use a
right.
paper map?
I had paper. I remember Google printouts, y'all. Like, right, Shernada,
Yes,
and like
yes.
you end up in nowhere because there's a blank on the frickin' map. You don't know where you are. So
No.
that's not really a reality for most of us. Even those of you who
Mm-mm.
are as far away as India, Dubai. I have listeners in Greenland, Australia, Japan. Some of these places you think you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere. You're actually surrounded just as much by electronic devices as we are. Okay,
Well,
because
interesting enough, I was just in Iceland for 2.5 weeks, and oh boy, that was just amazing. That's a whole nother topic. However, now here I am out in this beautiful island, just has every single thing that God has created up that's beautiful in this world has landed there, it seems like, on this island. And it was crazy because honestly, I had 5G almost everywhere I was at. And I'm like, I can't even believe this. This is incredible. It's like, and even, we were going around the camper van and the RVs, and I was like, even in there, I even had it no matter where we were. It's like once in a while, I didn't have that much of a signal. But I guess the whole point is like we're not going to get away from this. It's impossible. So we have to learn we will adapt, or we're not going to feel well if we don't adapt correctly. And getting back to the stories that you were saying, it's not in the breast, but one thing that we all hear this often is yes, everybody's getting diseases at younger and younger ages, and prostate, testicular cancer, youngest ages ever, anal cancer, rectal cancer, youngest ages ever, ovarian cancers, youngest ages ever. Where are we putting our technology? We're sitting it on our laps with our laptops. We're sitting our tablets on our laps. If you're pregnant, I want you to think about where the baby is, where you're sitting this stuff on your laps. Where are you putting it in your back pocket and your front pockets? This is these are so important to know and to think about and to realize that, there is an epidemic that is happening. And it's something that, it is not talked about enough. That's all I have to say because there is an agenda and it's technology. And it's like we say, it's not going anywhere. So I just wanted to think of food for thought. And there's also something else I want to share. And I like to share this information. So there's three areas, as I call it, the M&Ms. And everybody remembers M&Ms. You all know our M&Ms, right? So it will affect it's called radiation. It's the energy coming out of our computers and our technology. Even what's coming out of the wall. I mean, electricians, I mean, it's EMF that's coming just out of the plug in the wall. So it's like everywhere. But it's just that, it's just stacking on top of stacking right now, because our bodies are not getting a break. And so M&Ms it will affect and cause free radicals in the body, this radiation and this technology that's coming out. So it's affecting our mitochondria. Our mitochondria is everything within our body. Okay. So it's going to go right into direct cell breakdown into the body, into the tissues, into the vital organs, reproductive system. It's going to affect your hormones. Once our hormones are affected, it's going to change everything within the body. And there are studies that prove that this happens. Now, nobody ever looks very closely when they buy a cell phone. What the directions say is like, don't hold within a quarter inch of your body. Don't hold it on your body. We do this. And and some of the side effects that you might feel are pain and tingling in your hands and your fingers. Okay, which is why I wear these. I wear this ring. This ring is really important to me, not because it's a beaded, cute ring, but because when I use my technology, I literally, or if I'm holding a cell phone that's not protected, I will have tingling and numbness going up in my hands. I'm not sensitive. And a lot of people say the same thing when they're wearing the smartwatches, that they're feeling the same thing. So pain, tingling, infertility, tumors, cancers, things like that. The N for M and M is your neurons and your neurotoxicity. So now we're talking the hormones again. We're talking stimulation, suppression. We're talking cortisol levels, melatonin, dopamine, all this. We know how it's going to affect us, just like we're watching social media and just being on the phone too much, or in on. But is the blue light is affecting our cortisol levels. So we're going to cause brain fog. It's going to cause sleep issues. It's going to cause ADD issues, ADHD, chronic fatigue, again, tumors and cancers. Eye cancers are coming out now that we've never heard of before. And I'm sorry, I will never and I do not understand. They say it's healthy for you. Meta glasses, throw them away. Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg, you may not like me for this, but no. And I will never put a pair of AirPods in my ears. And then finally, the last M is for microbiome. And it literally directly can affect the microbiome because of what's going on with our hormones and the whole system with that. So just think about like the behaviors that we have. We know that our stomach and our microbiome is exactly like our second brain. So when that is off, everything is off as well. This is very important. And I just want people to think about, why am I not feeling better? Why do I have tingling? And the doctor's going to give you medication for it, or you're looking for topical treatments. I want you to think about, what are you doing in your environment? This is very, very important. So sorry about that.
Oh
I
no,
that was very important.
please take the apology back, Sherinata. I
Okay, I take it
really,
back.
the reason why you're here, right? Because the whole purpose of this Dance to Heal podcast is that life is this dance of knowing what is in your best health, what's for your best and um, most most highest level of good in your life. And this is the reason why you're here.
Thank you.
Because, I really believe that all of us, we take on some type of purpose, soul thing we're supposed to fulfill. And if you're gifted a body, you're not taking care of your body, which is so important. And very few of us get any lessons. When you just, our parents are struggling to get through their lives. So we get parents that don't really know how to lead us. We're usually the ones educating them with the newest knowledge that's been either returned from old knowledge that was lost or new discoveries, right? And no one dealt with this much electronics in our whole entire lives before us. And so now
Hmm.
it's up to you, audience members, to really take stock of how much of this is surrounding you. So we're going to have Sherinata come back, but at the very least, when you go to KareliaCreations.com, you can use a special coupon, Dance to Heal 10, for 10% off. And if you don't want that coupon, don't worry about it. You get a 5% off if you join her mailing list. You have both, right? Just be aware, there are very easy to purchase items that automatically give you some shielding. Like we have special stickers for the back of our phones inside our thing. They're little stickers. You see, she has a couple on hers to show you on my YouTube people, but my audio people come back in and do that, okay? And then she has a special right now. I don't know if it's going to be running at the production of this and release of this episode, but you can get this little cute shungite pyramid that now the ends are really sharp, okay, so we have to be careful with that, but we have it right by our workstations. And then I also have bracelets. Now I have other bracelets for other things, but these little cute bracelets that I wear on my wrist, on each wrist, my family all have one of these to shield themselves. There's even individual little, like the ring that she's wearing on her fingers, you can put them on your electronic devices. I have one on all of my things. This is the Apollo, this is the Apple Watch, right? And they're really helpful so that when you're outside of your home, she just discontinued them. I'm getting the last few ones of what are those?
The sun catchers.
The sun catchers. So you got to look with those. Sorry,
Hmm.
you'll have to make
Hmm.
some or ask her for special requests, right? These things will help you have a shield from the effects of these devices around you. They're just the first steps towards health for you. Sherinata, what other things can they do besides buying these really amazing products that are on your website at Karelia Creations? What other things can we do besides, give up all electronics, which isn't going to happen?
Which isn't going to happen now. I think the most important thing is, there's a lot of things we can do at home, and that's why we do have the book that we want to give away as well, which is, please, listeners, go to Jenny's, the what is it,
The
the
episode
copy,
description. Yep.
the episode description, and click on the link and get the free EMF. It's how an EMF protection made simple because it can be very overwhelming to people. So I break it down in steps very simply for the areas in your house, things to think about, and how to get started. So what's really important though is, like I always say, one of the most important things is the Wi-Fi router. If you have a Wi-Fi router, you can unplug it at night. You can get a kill switch if you want at nighttime. Some people don't ever want to do that because they have alarm systems and they have this and they have that or work all weird hours. So it's, and this is not a one size fits all situation. Everybody has different situations, and that's what's really important. Everybody's bodies are different, everybody's households are different, everybody's immune systems are different. We have children, we have dogs, we have pets, we have, spouses or not or whatever, or maybe our spouses are our pets or backwards. Just kidding. But either way, so it's really important to know that it's not one size fits all. You have to do what feels right for you. So I always say either if you have a Wi-Fi router and you don't want to plug in, it is very easy to plug in through an Ethernet cable and to keep everything running on an Ethernet cable. The other thing is if you do have a Wi-Fi router, do not put it in your bedroom or anybody's bedroom. Even in your home office, if you have one, I would suggest either switch it if you can, move it into a common area where you're at least 8 to 10 feet from it at all times.
Like, I think there's one right next to me. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, husband, you gotta move. I don't even know. I don't even know what it looks like. What's a Wi-Fi look? router look like?
They all look different.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, they all
Nice.
look different, but
Okay.
it's
My
where
husband's
everything
getting a
comes through.
text. Get off of this. Honey, where's the router? Do I need to move my office
Yes.
again? Okay. Yeah.
I know, yeah. And that was my problem. I really do believe that because the Wi-Fi router was off my bedroom, I think that was the biggest thing for my kill switch in my brain in growing that brain tumor at the time was because my body never had time to heal. If we can't sleep, we cannot heal.
That's right.
If and that's the bottom line, right? So when our hormones are off, our endorphins are off, everything is off, we cannot heal. So we need to have that deep sleep, and I could never get it. And forget menopause, that's a whole different story. So if we have
Well,
menopause on top of Wi-Fi routers, we just need to really figure this out.
shouldn't, shouldn't. I
But
know,
I
I know,
would
I know, I know.
yeah, and so definitely if you cannot, I have the small one and I also have if you're extremely sensitive, I have the large big mama, I call her right there. The very big one. I would say put it next to your if you have a whole electronic center in your Wi-Fi router or one of those smart homes,
Mm-hmm.
get
Yeah.
the large pyramids,
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna have to get
sure.
one. I'm gonna.
Mhm.
Well, our problem is that we have pets that will knock them off,
Oh, okay.
so we just have to
So
figure out a way to rig it.
yes, and there are lots of other items out there too. Like, I mean, I sell the Shungite because see, so I just want to show there's two reasons why I sell this pyramid, and this is what's really important for people who are listening to the podcast. They want to come and see it on your YouTube channel. So, first of all, I have this one for a reason. There are lots of little ones that they sell and that are not so pointy. But honestly, for anybody who understands energy, and understands that our bodies are energy and everything around us is energy. And then we have a harmonic field. We know that we're connected to everything. And when we're peaceful and we're not stressed out, our bodies are healing. And when we're not, we're throwing everything out of proportion, right? So shungite is comes down to 0 point. It comes down to perfection. It creates harmony or there's disharmony. So literally, Jenny, I was doing this at Podfest, and I don't think you were there, but if you have a pain in your elbow, if you have a pain in your neck, literally think of this as a laser. Think of this as a laser. And I want you, all you do is go like this, literally, and you point it and swirl it for just a minute or two, not even. And you will literally notice, I want people take a note of and say, on a scale from 1 to 10, what's my pain? My pain is like a 5 or 8 or whatever it is. And literally, you will do this wherever you're at, and you're going to notice it will calm it down. And within 30 seconds to a minute, people will literally feel it will drop by, from a 5 to a 3 or a 8 to a 5 or to a 0. It just depends on the person.
Oh my God, that's crazy. All right, so audience members, my YouTube people saw me doing this, but I'm gonna explain to my audio members. Um, I go to a PT regularly once a month because as I'm strengthening my muscles in my body from menopause because I can't afford to have a hip fracture. My osteoporosis got much worse. Okay. And so the PT is finding that on my sternum, you have ribs that come off of your sternum in the front of your chest. My right side, which is looking like it's your left side, if you're looking at me here in the video,
Mhm.
this side, these ribs pop out all the time. So I always have pressure and pain here. So I was like, oh, let me just try this little exercise this year. And I was doing, and literally the pain's gone. This is crazy, y'all. I'm going to be doing this all day long on all my calls.
I and that's why I said, remember when I said back in 2013, 14, when I started using the Shungite, I literally didn't have any more headaches. My lethargy was gone because it was creating harmony and I didn't realize how much it was literally neutralizing the pain in my body. Now remember, my tumor was still growing. It wasn't going to stop my tumor from growing. I already had the issue. It's a brain barrier. It was already growing. So it did not stop it from growing. However, it stopped it from the pain. And wearing this will neutralize something from beginning, but if you already have something that's happening, you're gonna have to do other issues. And oh, by the way, I'm wearing this shirt, which I always love to wear. I was wearing it there. Brain tumors
Yes.
would give with 0 stars if I could. Very bad. I do not recommend. And it has a 1 star rating, which is for any cancer, as we well know, or
I
tumor.
need one that says breast cancer.
Yes, exactly. So when you use the flashlight so you can test your shungite to see if it's real because it's a black stone. And I literally, people message me all the time, how do I know it's real?
Yeah.
I want to buy it from a reputable company because I have gotten people said that I don't think it's real and it's not real. It could look like onyx, it could look like tourmaline, it could look like plastic, it could look like glass. It doesn't matter. So if you just get a regular flashlight like this, which a little LED flashlight, there's nothing magical about it. You take off the end of it because this is electrical. Okay, I'm going to take off the conductor, which is right here. I'm going to show you that this carries its own electrical field, okay? That's what it does, and that's why it works. It creates its own electrical field. So look at this, just the tip of it, just the tip.
Y'all, my audio only people, she just stuck the pointy parts into the back of the flashlight and it lit up.
Yep, it
It's like
doesn't
its
matter.
own battery. I'm getting chills. You did not show me this part in January. I did
I
not see
did.
this part.
Look, and here's a small one. Here's a small raw rock.
Yeah. Oh, stop it!
I
Y'all,
did.
she's doing magic. This is crazy. Okay, here's the thing. Sure, not a but there's something different that you do with your shungite. Like, do you do something? Do you prepare your shungite a little
Oh, I
bit
do.
differently?
I
What is
do.
it that you?
I
Because
do.
y'all, you can get regular shungite anywhere, but the reason why I only get it from Karelia Creations is because of what you do to prepare it.
I do. Everything I sell, except for the pyramids, because they're already packaged the way they are,
Mm-hmm.
but or the rocks, because they're rocks. Everything we sell, every bead and every stone that we sell for jewelry and for the stickers that we make and how we make everything in house. We're a homegrown woman, run company, and we saturate everything in a very high colloidal silver base. And this will raise the vibration because it's silver, and silver is also a conductor, just like gold is a conductor. So now, not only do we have just regular shungite, we are literally amplifying that field for a larger range of protection. And of course, it is a very high vibration within. Everybody that we have that's making this jewelry, we have such a high vibe company. Like, if you love my energy, imagine this amplified by the five other people in the company. So that's how we are, and it's just good vibes throughout to help heal this world.
And it's so needed.
It
Sure,
is so
not. I
needed.
love my love notes when I get orders, and
Oh,
they
thank
know that
you.
I'm a repeat customer. And there's always thank you so much for buying again. I'm like, how do you know? I love
We do.
this.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, we have so many orders, and yet we still handwrite thank you notes to everybody because it's so
Yes.
important to us. Because you guys, you mean the world to us as my, I love people. I love people, and we couldn't be in this world without them. So it's like, let's just, spread good vibes around. So thank you for saying that.
Ooh, of course. It's the very least I could do. Audience members, I've run over time. I'm going to get in trouble with my editor. So Sherinata has to come back because we actually spoke about a lot more things before I hit the record button. And I think that it would really benefit for you for Sherinata to come back and for us to have other
Yeah.
conversations regarding how important it is to be aware of what's affecting you energetically. Honestly, folks, be aware of something. The if you already have hormonal changes that have nothing to do with something like energy affecting you, this exacerbates everything happening to you. So,
True.
the whole topic of aging itself is really loaded, and the majority of us are aging. It doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, you're still aging, folks, and we would really like you to have this information before you need it. I really wish I could have known. I could have prevented the breast cancer. Now, here's the thing. I know my belief system is that, God had me get it for a reason. I kind of wish, though, I could have prevented the the amount of suffering I went through. We would like you to lessen the amount of suffering, as it were,
That's it.
right? Because then my recovery could have been a little bit faster. I could be impacting more people now. Instead, I was hiding behind the fear of not understanding what the hell was happening to my body. We would like you to know there's answers for what you're feeling. And part of this platform of Dance to Heal is getting you to understand your body more. If you go to danceandheal.com, you get a gift to my virtual class. And then once you get used to my teachings, you can be on my email list that will teach you ways to listen more to your body. There's a reason why you logged onto this particular episode is because Sherinata's
Mm,
passion and what her company stands for is really what you need in your life. So make sure you go to that website, Karelia Creations. You have your Dance and Heal 10 coupon. And then we're going to have you come back because there's just so much more to talk about, Sherinata.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody for listening and to spread the word and share this with a friend for sure, because everybody needs to know about this.
Yes. And in the YouTube episode, if you have any questions and you want to pop it in the comments, we will monitor that and answer you.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
make sure you get on our mailing list on Sharonata's and mine so we can keep you up to date about more things that we're finding about this. We'll see you next
Mhm.
time, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?